As usual, if you have any if you're not able to answer the questions, it's okay. Just let us know lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right, I think we can start lah. So, okay. How about you start with introducing yourself, about yourself and everything.
Okay. Hi everyone. So before I start, I just want to know for all of you from which school? Sorry.
So okay. So all of us are from.
Sorry, I haven't know yet.
Okay. So sorry about this. Yeah. For University Tun Hussein on. We
okay.
Batu Pahat lah. The Pari Raja.
Okay.
So
okay, good.
This is our first year, second sem. So that is why our assignment is basically to find out about HR experience. So yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can I start?
Can, no problem.
So then maybe later on we can start back. Okay. So my name is Sharil. Okay. I'm right now I'm attached to Dynacast Melaka. So previously I'm working with one of semicon industry, which is Wistron. I'm Malaysia as experience as for 10 years. Okay. So anything my expertise is industrial relation. I ever know whether you know about IR or not. So maybe I can share it later on. Okay. So basically this is my second year in Dynacast. So I think I try to give whatever I have my knowledge to support you all in your group. Okay. So then before we start, can I get to know each of you first?
Okay, come introduce. Very curious. Okay, so basically, well, I think we hardly spoke when I work at Dynacast at the time because we are busy with our things, right? So no choice lah. But I'm Hrikesh Kumar, and basically, well, because before that, in 2019, I actually worked in Dynacast as well, but that was under HR also lah, but not as much. I believe it's not as much as your role. It's just a small role, part time and everything. And then, well, I have a little bit of the working experience for the HR one, so I believe I'll be able to a little bit on the same topic that you're about to let us know on lah.
Okay.
So, yes. Basically, I'm now this year 22 years old. Still young, so yes, hope so lah. Hope to stay young. Then I think basically that's much about me lah. So alright, you guys boleh introduce yourself, no problem.
Who going to start next?
Okay, nice to meet you, Mr. Sharil. My name is CHENG and you can call me CC lah.
CC okay.
That's all.
Okay, CC. Nice to meet you. Yeah, next. Who's next?
Nice to meet you, sir. My name is AIMAN. You can call AIMAN from same faculty with them. Nice to meet you.
Okay, good. Next.
Okay. Hi. My name is Puteri Nur Navia.
It's okay. Tak apa, okay, it's okay. One by one.
Okay. Okay, my name is Puteri Nur Navia NATASHA binti IDRIS. You can call me Puteri.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for quick introduction. Okay, so what are we going to start next, Hrikesh?
Okay, basically, so that's about the introduction. So now I guess I'll start with the first question lah. Which is, okay, because I just want to know through your experience-wise in HR. So in your experience-wise, so what kind of self-development, your development practice you have encountered while working in the HR workspace? That means, like, for example, some old system has to be changed to a new system, so you have to find a way to adapt to it. So how do you normally, what is the process of, how do you feel when adapting to a new system?
Oh, okay. So, right, thank you. So, I think for changes. This is, first of all, is managing change. It's change management. So for any HR, for sure we will encounter this in your work later on. Because first, I just share my experience. Last time we have changed from manual time recording to a systematic. So what we need to do is we need to understand first, okay, the system before we implement. And before any HR or any new system implemented, we need to start do a pilot test. The HR need to test first and understand the system very well. Then whenever before we start, we need to have some quick briefing to the all employees that going to impact with the changes. So this is part of change management, and one of it is, I think you're right also, which is people are some not very sure or doesn't want or refuse to change. So it takes time to make sure them understand why we need to have this new system. So by that, we do some, so we call a briefing, communication, a lot of communication, and then we have to do some trials to ensure that employee know and understand how to do or to use to or to adapt to the new system. Because it is a normal process for any changes, employee need to know first. Okay, and I think once we already start with the pilot, we will start evaluate the result. From the result of the pilot run, then we can know which level are employee understanding on the new system. From that, we can start to do some any FAQ or any so-called work instruction, which is work instruction is a simple work process to employee to use that new system and to adapt. So it's normally we need to have some so-called mentor lah. So normally it's their department assistant to assist the employee, because we will need to translate into a certain language for our employees. Okay, so that's some of the changes that we need to understand. But whatever it is, before we start a new system, we need to fully understand the system first. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sharil. Oh,
yeah.
It's a new intel for me, because something that we cannot see on the process. That is very knowledgeable. Okay, anyone else? Next question.
Okay, sorry, my question here. Are the training and programs offered by the company are engaging to employees' specific job roles and responsibilities?
Okay, all right, CC, thank you for the question. So, okay, that's good question. So, I think for employees, before we start to develop, all so-called HR will have to have a training need analysis, which is TNA. Have you heard about it? Anyone?
No.
Okay, I think maybe later you will know about this. TNA stand as training need analysis. So we need to understand the process or the training that needed for the job, and we need to evaluate the employee capabilities in understanding or to move further. Okay, so in terms of development, I think all employee need to be developed. It is cannot be, let's say one operators, it's gonna be for 10 years he will stay as normal operators, or example a technician. Okay, so the company normally will have a system that where employee will start to develop, so which is based from the TNA. Okay, so the TNA is the basic for all employees to start to develop. So it for sure it's linked to the job. Okay, if you doesn't see the TNA, then it's quite difficult for employee to progress further. It is important because certain level will have different TNA. Let's say the operators, they will have a specific training that required. First is with the job. Then let's say the company have engaged with any audit. So it also something, a training that related to the audits. Example, I just give example, ISO. So maybe training related to ISO. So we need to put this inside their training need analysis. So whenever they grow, so there's some basic thing are there, and then if they want to grow, example from technician 1 to technician 2, there are specific training that they need to undergo. Okay, so it based on their competencies and based on their capabilities. So then we will start to proceed with their training. It is not just a CPA, you need to go for training. Not as simple as that. We will evaluate first. That's HR part for this time. Normally we will evaluate. We will get a lot of communication with the department to understand their needs and how to progress further for employees. So I think for HR part, for so-called for my team basically for HR, basic thing that they need to understand is Employment Act. All HR need to undergo that. You understand or not, but you need to know, okay? Because it's basic for HR. Even though it's refresher every year, so you need to go. So that's first competency that the HR required. And then communication skills, okay? And how to talk with lower level, mid-level, and top level. So that's how we develop our team. So there are certain competencies that I've put in place, but is still in progress. Okay, so other than that, from one level to move to next level, they need to know the business acumen. Example, in terms of sales, financial, and then how to manage the manpower. So that's example of the growth for employee in a company. Okay, CC, got me?
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you for sharing that new knowledge. Give me more opinion to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next, sir. Since you talked about capability and also competency, I want to know what action you will take in HR part when there is a employee which is in a low performance.
Okay, Aiman, thank you. So it's correlated from CC question. So any employee that from the TNE, employee will undergo training. So once they have training, they need to perform, right? So whenever employees that perform, they will get credited with example promotion or increment. So whenever that does not meet, we have a so-called a benchmarking level or passing mark for any employees. If employee fall below the passing mark, so they need to go a program, so-called employee performance improvement. I think I just share a bit employee improvement program. So this program is where employee will get a full monitoring. Okay. First, we will start with discussion or counseling. We want to understand what is happening. So what is happening with the performance? Then employee will share this and that example, because in terms of managing the performance, we need to split out between disciplinary and truly performance, genuine performance. Example, I just want to check with you. Is attendance a performance issue? Anyone? Performance, is that a performance or disciplinary issue?
For me, I think it's disciplinary. Yeah, not about performance.
Are you sure?
Person like me, I think there is, but in a HR term, maybe maybe have a different perspective. Yeah.
Okay. There is no right or wrong. Actually, yes, we need to split up. It's correct. It's under disciplinary action, because most of the supervisors that I've gone through, most of them are a bit confused. They cannot differentiate between disciplinary and performance. Whenever employee doesn't come, they accept it, and then towards the end of year, yes, it's not performed. Why? The attendance rate is low. Before that, there's no action. So in managing the employee performance, So yes, it's correct also. What you mentioned, AIMAN, is about